So I do want to head out live to the state of Michigan right now, where, as always, Fox 2 Detroit's Robin Murdoch is joining us with the latest on this investigation. Robin, twists and turns is really the big term that we need to use when it comes to what we saw this weekend. What can you tell our viewers?
You know, Regina, I think you nailed it right there. There certainly have been a lot of twists and turns since we started covering this situation last Tuesday. I can tell you that we were standing outside the Oakland County Sheriff's Department here in Pontiac. It's about 20-30 minutes away from Detroit. And we are told that investigators here will actually be meeting with a person of interest that may have helped the parents of the alleged gunman in this high school shooting hide out. We are told that he's a 65-year-old artist. He's friends of the family, and police say that he ended up letting the Crumbleys, and this is James and Jennifer Crumbley, ended up letting them inside of a warehouse. And this man, he does have an art gallery inside of this warehouse. That is where police ended up finding the couple over the weekend. And so, of course, investigators will be talking to the 65-year-old to find out exactly what he knew, if he knew that they were on the run, if he knew that they were wanted by authorities. And right now we have talked to his attorney, and the attorney insists that his client had no knowledge that charges had been filed against the Crumbleys. So this is a situation that we'll, of course, be following throughout this day. Regina?
Yeah, and Robin, you know, this comes after we heard from that prosecutor on Friday. Really disturbing is the word to describe the knowledge and the exchanges between the parents and the 15-year-old shooter. I do understand this morning that we're learning of a third party investigating the events that led up to the shooting last week. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I can tell you during the press conference that the Oakland County prosecutor held on Friday, that is when she initially disclosed the involuntary manslaughter charges that both of the parents now face. And they do have a $500,000 bond as a result of those involuntary manslaughter charges. But during that press conference, she did elaborate on some of the facts, some of the evidence that she says kind of led to her decision. Among them is these graphic drawings that a teacher ended up finding. Ethan was drawing these drawings at school. They depicted people being shot, people being killed. There was blood, there was guns. So that was obviously alarming to the teacher. There was a meeting between a counselor as well as Ethan and his parents just 3 hours before the shooting. And then obviously he was able to go back to class, and that is when the shooting occurred. Now, the superintendent of Oxford schools, he is defending his decision, what had happened, and he is now calling in a third party to continue to investigate this matter. I can tell you that the Attorney General here in Michigan, she has come out and said that her office would be more than happy to look into this. They do have the resources, and their investigation would expand on what the Sheriff's Department investigation is already doing. It would focus on perhaps if there is any civil liability, if there were any policies that needed to be changed as a result of their investigation. So certainly a lot of movement in this case, even almost a week into when the shooting first happened. So we have been very busy here in Detroit following every little detail, and we will continue to do so for you guys.
Yeah, Robin, and we truly thank you and your team for all of your efforts. I understand, do we know anything more about when the school could potentially open? I know when we last heard, they said that it would basically be closed indefinitely. Is that still the case?
So they did over the weekend release kind of a plan to get some students back to school. And these are students in the K through 8 buildings. These are not the high school students, the ones directly affected by the shooting on Tuesday. So from what we understand, teachers and counselors and administrators, they will be meeting the day before on Thursday to kind of get a process in place, kind of get familiar with the situation. And then on Friday, K through 8 students and other buildings will be brought back. The students at the high school, though, it's going to be several more weeks, perhaps even months, before they can get back to school. And of course, we are still waiting on the plans for that. But as you mentioned, the school, it's been described as a war zone, as a wreck because of what they did to protect themselves from this alleged gunman. So it's going to take a while to get them back. Regina?
Yeah, definitely. I truly can't imagine walking those halls once again. Robin, do we know right now of a time or any press conference that is set in stone for today following the interview of this person of interest?
We have not heard any new details about when the sheriff may be addressing the public again, addressing the media again about new findings in this case. That is something that we'll, of course, keep an eye on, and they've been really good about getting in touch with us to let us know. So nothing as of yet. I'm sure the number one thing they want to do is talk to this person of interest, kind of feel that situation out, and then we'll learn more from investigators.
Absolutely. Well, Robin, again, thank you for thank you to you and your team for keeping us updated on this very ongoing situation. We'll continue to stay in touch, and you and your team have a great rest of your day. Stay warm out there.
Thanks, Regina.